Hi, and welcome to the Aspiring Vegan. So the conversation will be saying that to be a vegan, you don't take anything from the animals, and you don't, which I agree with, you don't eat them, you don't kill them, you don't hurt them, you leave them alone to live out their lives as best as nature has possibly allowed for them to experience their lives in a natural way. So once I started to really kind of get into this and became 100% vegan myself, 100% vegan 98% of the time, as I've heard many people say, because I think that's true. Maybe it's less, I don't know, because I'm still trying to figure out where in my life I have lived my life so hypnotized by the world, by society, by the conditioning that it's okay to like wear the leather and to eat the animals, and for many years I was one of those people. However, I remember as a child thinking how gross it was that my mother was feeding me this meat, and I remember there was like a beef stew, and I remember pulling the meat out of the stew and pulling it apart and thinking, well, this comes from a cow, like milk comes from a cow, so I didn't have too much of a problem with that, but this was gross as opposed to the milk. And then later I found that it was the cow. I was really grossed out. However, I had to, in a child's mind, I'm thinking, well, there's got to be something wrong with me that, because everyone's telling me it's okay. It's okay to do this. It's okay to eat it. So I must be wrong. I'm just a kid. So I had to set aside my prejudice and my feelings about that. I found it to be horrible and gross. And I had to set that aside, and I set it aside, and I conditioned myself and hypnotized myself to become this person that ate animals. And then as you grow older and you hear in school and you hear a doctor saying, this is what you should eat. All these people that are telling you that they're smarter than you, and that's what you should do. You should follow their example. So, there goes the hypnotic trance, gets deeper and more entrenched and ingrained. And finally, it took my getting sick in 2000. Well, in 2005, I found out I had second stage cancer, and found a holistic doctor, naturopathic physician, who put me on a very strict green juicing diet, and I literally juiced for 4 months and was completely cleaned out and healed. And and then this is how you're supposed to eat. Well, if this can clean out your body and this can heal you, and I'd already given up red meat years before that, but I was still eating fish, thinking that was okay, and eggs, chicken, and thinking that was okay. So I never connected the dots because there was no support system. At least I wasn't looking for it, because I didn't think it existed. So so it took getting cancer and learning about juicing and about the enzymes and the life in the food that gives life to the body, that cleans you out and restores your health to get on the right track. And and then the process of healing and cleansing after that was my mind, cleaning the mind out to all the hypnotic suggestions of how to live the wrong way and how that was okay. I just realized I was looking at some old videos on some things that had nothing to do with veganism, and they were showing where doctors back in the 50s were all addicted to cigarettes, 40s, whatever, and they would give prescriptions to their patients for cigarettes that were told by the American Medical Association that was okay to do that. And so, and they promoted cigarettes because they were addicted. So it was like, how is it, people now need to ask these kind of questions. Who are these people we're depending on for the information? We need to discover this for ourselves. We need to do the research ourselves. We need to be our own physician and to look to the people that are doing the good work, to the people that are doing the work of nature, and has a moral and ethical foundation that does not tread upon the earth or the natural symbiotic relationship that we have with the earth that we should have. I mean, we've ravaged this planet. We have ravaged it. We're now having the results coming back to us. What goes around comes around. So, we're killing and eating 150 billion animals a year. And I just found that number on there's a website where you can get the literal live feed on how many animals and what species are being killed in this moment, like in this minute. It goes all the animals, how many are being killed in this moment. And it was so mind-boggling. My mind can't even go to 1 billion, much less 150 billion. So my message is that to be a human being, don't take it for granted that you're a human being. If you're not acting humane, if you're not living humanely, you haven't reached the level where we can say, okay, we achieved humanity. We've achieved the level of being human. That's a title that needs to be earned, and I'm not saying I'm going to tell you when that happens or that I think I am there. I don't think so. I think that it's such a high ideal. It's such a powerful level of achievement in mind, body, and spirit that you'll know it when you get there, or maybe you won't. But the thing is to keep aspiring toward that. That's the whole key, is to never quit trying to achieve doing the right thing. To whatever, just do the loving thing. The right thing, right or wrong is depends on how you've been indoctrinated with your belief system. So you may or may not think you're doing something right, and you may think you're doing something wrong when it's really the opposite when it comes to the way that nature or God would look at it. So I say, look down the path of love and to do the loving thing, and love your animals and appreciate that they don't belong to you, but that they share your life with you, even though you may feed them and take care of them. That's the loving thing to do, because they can't turn around and do that for you, possibly. And if they could, they probably would. So it's not that difficult to figure out. I don't think. I think that once we get past that notion that we know everything, we don't. We're I am a certified master hypnotist, but all through that practice, I recognized that when people came to me because they wanted to quit smoking, or they wanted to heal their relationships, or they were suffering with past traumas, or whatever it was, I recognized that most people walking around this planet, and I'd say 99%, are hypnotized. They're indoctrinated from the very, very early stages of life to be what other people want them to be. And then eventually they pick up that ball and they run with it, and they reinforce that training, that thinking to themselves over and over and over till it's so they're saturated into the cellular memory and they get the cancer, and they get the diabetes, or they get whatever it is they think they're supposed to get because their parents got it or something like that. The body is just a reflection of your mind, and so is your surroundings, and so is your experience, and so is your life level of joy and happiness is a reflection of how you've been indoctrinated into being and living. And don't think that the world of television and marketing isn't working overtime and spending billions and trillions of dollars to make sure that you stay hypnotized and working for them. They're going to wear the clothes they want you to wear, buy the things they want you to think the way they want you to think, and all that stuff. So I'm just saying it's time to perhaps to for the people who say they're a vegan, then by all means consider that your responsibility may be a little bit higher, at a higher level, and you're not better than other people. Your food choices are better than the people who are not vegan, as far as I'm concerned, but that's it. You're not better than anybody. People are all on different levels of learning. We're all learning and seeking, and people that are fighting vegans, or vegans fighting vegans, or people just fighting anything, they're scared. You don't get angry without being scared first. Anger is just a cloak, a coat that you put on to hide your fear, and it's you attack the thing that is going to cause you to have to reveal that fear. Like, don't tell me that it's bad to eat meat, because then I'm going to feel guilty about what I do every day. They don't want to feel guilty. They don't know that yet, okay? They just think you're crazy. They want to think you're crazy, or that you're trying to impose something upon them. Anyway, I didn't think I was going to talk about this much. I was just going to introduce this the Aspiring Vegan channel, and so because I love nature, and I love the world that is a reflection of the Most High, which is a symbiotic balance of compassion. And I heard this from several Buddhist teachers that said the reason why that when you cut down a tree in the forest, that the other trees will kind of grow in to fill in that space is compassion. The reason why one thing happens over here in nature will turn and try to do something to balance out that is compassion. So we have that within us, and we are at the deepest core of our being, are compassionate beings, and truly love each other. And I but we're kind of afraid of that too, as the ego gets in the way, and it doesn't want you to be revealed as to your true self, because then it's going to have to die, and then the true self will take over, which is a good thing. So I want to take that journey with you, and I thank you for watching this video.